crowd here. We'll have more people joining us. And if you'll give me just a half second, I'm going to clean my glasses off because I realized my screen wasn't looking real good. It's not looking a whole lot better, but it's better. And I think we're ready. Are you ready, Raj?
Ready, Raj.
I think this is going to be our best webinar yet.
It's the last golf ball at the driving range. It's going to go the furthest.
Is yours open? Anyhow.
It doesn't have to be open.
Yeah, well, okay.
I can go hit it.
Yeah, then you got to go get it, though. Anyhow, welcome to Teacher Web Pages Phase 3, how to find your web. Welcome to Web Pages number 3, how to fine-tune your web page. We're glad you're here, and we hope that we can show you some, first of all, some tips and tricks, things you might add, and some really good ideas on how to make your website more accessible, easier to get around, things like that. So, with no further ado, I'm Gene Colbago.
I'm Roger Carroll.
And we'll get started. Maybe we'll get started. Okay. I'm going to apologize at the beginning. We're going to be jumping around an awful lot in here, so we have to move from one place to another. So please forgive us. Where am I here? Oh, here I'm at this website, but I need to be here. See? Okay. I don't know why I'm there. I want to be back at the home district. First of all, we want to remind you that if you go to staff. Boy, this is not working really well here. And the Teacher Mentor site. What in the world is happening here? That's really silly. I'm sorry. Let me go back here. Staff. I don't know if it's the page. That's not working really well. Huh. I want to go to the Teacher Resource Center. Yeah. Anyhow, I'm here.
Look at it on my backup computer.
Yeah, I don't know if that. But anyhow, if you go here and go down to Teacher Resource Center, there is a page, the third one down right now.
Yeah, somebody's working on it.
Yeah, I think that is called Webinar Videos, and we have placed all of the videos on. And what we're doing is we're going to be updating the third one that we put up yesterday. I think this morning's was good. We were hoping this one was going to be better and got off to a little shaky start. But anyhow, the videos will be there if you want to review them, check them out, so forth and so on. So we hope you will. Okay? And with that, I want to thank all you people who are putting up web pages, working on your web pages, and trying to make them really, really useful for your students and for your families. We've gone through, looked at some of them, and think, wow, this is really great. In what, 3 weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, all the work you've been doing is phenomenal. And many of you have given us some good ideas. For one, we thought the idea of the welcome page that is more, when I say welcome, welcoming, that kind of, the kids can look at and say, oh, hey, feel good. Many people are putting up pictures of themselves or welcome, miss you signs, things like that, and it's kind of good. And so what I started with was, you're going to, please don't be afraid. It's harmless. Instead, I put up a picture of myself rather than Niagara Falls High School. You probably couldn't tell the difference. Just to show that it's, the kids get there and say, oh yeah, hey, good, haven't seen her in a while, or him. Anyhow, I've also added a couple of things here that might make it a little bit more friendly and a little bit more useful. Number one, last week we talked about putting up an email address and putting it in text so that parents could copy it, paste it in their mail browser, and send you information that you can then refer to. We also have been having some issues with school email, and we seem to be getting more and more of them, people asking for them to be made larger, expanded, and so forth. And if you are having problems, we ask you to delete some of your mail if you can, then make sure you go to the trash and empty it too. If you don't know how to do that, there is a video on teacher tech resources for teachers that shows that, or email us and we'll help you. But to save some of that, you might want to put up, as we talked last week, a form, which we talked about last week and we'll be talking about today a great deal. Form is a way of communicating with, in this case, your parents in a much easier way where they can send you a message with the form, and then since they're putting in their email address, you can just copy that and send them a response. We've talked about that last week. But then after we talked about that last week, we started thinking, wow, we've got one for parents. What if students had questions, or they just wanted to say hello to you? Why shouldn't they have a page as well, or a way of doing that as well? So what I did is down here, I put up a sample idea that might give you some ideas, and you'll probably make it a lot better than I did, of a page that might work. Okay, and this is student question and responses. And, it's just a little page that says, hey, do you have something there you'd like to question or something you'd like to tell me? Fill in the form below, hit submit, and it'll be on its way. I'll respond. That was the problem. Response. How do we respond to the students? Emails? Doesn't seem likely because many of them don't have emails, or, they don't want to. We don't want to use their parents' email, privacy issues, things like that. So what we just did was thought that down below, I put a place where when a student sent a question, a form, you could respond to it down below. And not only he or she could see it, but the whole class could go in there and see it if they wanted to. Okay? And that was a pretty easy page to create. Just real quickly, let's see. Oh, no, I'm not there, I don't think. I'm at a different place. Yeah, let me do this. Okay, like I said, we're going to be jumping around a little bit. In here, there it is. I put in a content page that had that information. And by the way, those are copyright free pictures, okay? And you can do that, all right? Then I put in embed code, that's the form. Okay, Roger's going to explain that later, how to do an embed form, okay? To make sure that you have that for both forms and if you're doing videos from YouTube or other places, how to do an embed, which we recommend. I just put a little divider line there just to kind of divide everything. And then I put down below another content app with a picture again. And all it does is kind of blank, you'll see when it pops in. And that will allow me to go down here and put in all of my responses to my students. And I thought that that would be a kind of a good way to connect with them, okay? So that page is pretty simple. It gives the students a chance to communicate with you. And we thought, hey, that's not a bad idea. And again, on my welcome page, I put a little thing here that says, do you have something you want to ask or tell me? It's right there so they can see it and link to it or go to it and send me their questions, their comments, their greetings, whatever. Speaking of greetings, here's another little hint that you might like. Those students haven't heard from you for a while. If you just want to say, hey kids, I missed you, something like that, hope to see you, so forth and so on, how you doing? You might even want to say, hey, make sure you're doing your work, stuff like that. Notice it says, click here for a greeting from me. Well, if you click here, you'll see that you can't hear that, but I'm going to an little audio that I've created to send to them so they can hear this. This was very easy to do, and I'd like to take just 1 minute to show you how to do it. Okay, what I did was I went to my programs over here on the left, bottom left. these are a list. This is a list of all your programs. I need to get down lower. And rather than to grab that and pull down to the right place, which I never do right, I have found out that if you click on like one of the letters, it takes you to an alphabet. Okay? And you can click on the letter that you want. I wanted V because in there is an app called the Voice Recorder. And the Voice Recorder is a really good little device, and I'll show you how it works. I have it here on my whatever. Anyhow, I've got it here, and click on it to start, okay? And this has a list of the ones I've done before. When you first open it, you'll probably just see the microphone in a white center here, okay? But this is very simply how it works. You want to record something? You push the microphone. Hello, kids. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wasn't that interesting? Okay. I can click here to pause the recording. If I want to go back and add some more, I can just click on this again, and the recording will start again. When I'm finished, I just hit stop recording, and it will put it up here right there. Okay. All right. Uh-oh, something went wrong, but we've saved what we did so far. Okay, there it is. All right, now that would be one of the recordings, okay? Now what you would need to do is to go here and rename it. Right click on it, rename it, okay? Okay, and it's fine. Boom. All right. Now that you have that saved, you can insert it into your web page, but you have to know where it is on your computer, where it's saved. So what I'm going to do is right click on this, and there's a thing that says open file location. And if you do that, you can click on it, you can see the file here. Okay, what you can do is read across this and you'll see where it's been saved. Mine's been saved into documents, my documents, and into a folder called sound settings. I can do that very easily. Now I know where it is. So I can close that off. I can go back to my web page. I can go here and I can go to my welcome. I could link here, or excuse me, open this up to work on it, and I will make a link. I typed in, click here for a greeting from me, and then what I wanted to do was simply insert a file. When you insert files, they're not just limited to documents. You're going to find out you can insert audio files and you can insert in video files as well. And then I would just upload the file and go through that process that we've gone through. And I think most of you know that by now. You have uploaded files and so forth. Okay, and then it would be there and it would work. Okay, it would work on their computers. Great way. All right, that's an interesting idea. Another one idea that we got, and we got it not strangely enough, but from another teacher. And I'm going to go Raj's web page to show you this to start with. And down below, he's going to work on this later, but down below, this is probably more aimed at elementary, but they might can work anywhere, and you can maybe adjust it for what your needs are. A lot of the teachers know, and used to have little special things when the kids have birthdays, and they're missing them. So how about a birthday shout out? And what it is, when you click on it,
Happy birthday to all of our faithful birthday friends.
Can you hear any of that? I don't know if you could, but there's an audio with a picture. And you can have a little birthday shout out, and not only the students whose birthday it is could see it, but everybody in the class could see it. And that's a very easy thing to create. And let me show you how we did it. Okay, believe it or not, we opened up PowerPoint. And I put in a really nice picture here on a slide, and we're going to show you where I got that picture from in a few minutes, because it's another topic we're going to go to. But once I got that, all you needed to do was add some sound or audio to this slide. And to do that, I went to recording. Okay, double click on recording. And you'll see some items over here. We're going to use a couple of them. First of all, we're talking about adding audio. So we'll click the little down, and we don't have it recorded yet. That would be like if you're putting a song that you have recorded on your computer into there. But we want to record it. And what we would do is click this, and another little recording opens up. And this one's even easier than the other one. I don't know if you really need to add a name, but you could if you want to have birthdays or whatever. But to record, hey, I just want to say happy birthday to Roger and Marie and everybody. Okay, boom, stop. I could start it again if I wanted to, but when I'm done, I hit OK, and it's automatically inserted. I drag it down into the corner, and we're good to go. There's a little start thing. Okay. Now, we have that on PowerPoint. How do we get it into your web page? We're using this word a lot today. Very easily. Okay. All you need to do is go to your file. We're going to do a save. I'm going to save it to my desktop. Okay. Now, two things. Here's the information I have to put in. The name of the file. Birthday. Perfect. Now, here's the clue here. Do not save it as a PowerPoint. There's a little arrow here. Click the down arrow, and you can save it in a number of different ways, but the way we want to save it is an MP4 video. And that will help us out a great deal by clicking here. Okay, we're going to put on our birthday as a video, and we'll hit save. This will take us back to the screen, and down below, you'll see the video being created. Wow, that was fast today. It was kind of slow this morning. But now on our desktop, we should have, I'll never find it in a million years, a video called birthday right there. Okay. All right. So anyhow, it is good to go. We can open our web page as Roger did. I'm just going to, if I could, go back to Roger's. Roger went in here, and I think you know the process. He went to edit his page. He added in a text and then went to upload video. He uploaded that the video to his site, and it was linked, and it works beautifully. And you can do that too. That's just another way if you want to put a one-page video with a little talking to it, with talking in it. Nicely done. Now, there's another thing that you can do here, and it's kind of even better in certain circumstances. What if your student sends you a form and says, hey, how do you do this? How do you open Clever? How do you do this problem? How do you? And well, you could send back a response on the page with all the directions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. But sometimes it's better to show them. Could you create a little video that goes, hey, Marvin, here's how you do it. It's real easy. And then they could see it and hear you at the same time. Easily done. Easily done. I'm using that word an awful lot today. Okay, I'm just going to, for right now, put in a new slide, a little blank one. See it right here? That's where I am. And we're using PowerPoint again, okay? Very, very useful things in PowerPoint that we don't use too much. And again, I'm going to go to the recording because we want to record. Only this time, what we can do is make a screen recording. What that means is whatever is on your screen will be in the video and your voice as well. Let's see. We're going to hit screen recording, and the first thing that it wants to know is select the screen, select the area. Since I was using it today, it's at the red, those little red lines. Yours will probably be small and you can take it and drag it and make it any size you want. So I'm going to say select area. Now notice this went away. I can then select the area. Okay. Now once that's done, I can, make it smaller. All right. And then if I can get back to my web page, I'm going to go into my web page right here. And what I want to do is I'm going to go to what I call my video instruction. I have a page there with a few on there. Why am I going to make it inactive? That was stupid. And then I want to go there. I want to show you how to put a document viewer here. Okay, I already have one up here, but I'm going to do it again. All right. All right. So I want to create a video that does that. I can hit record and I get a timed. Okay, everybody, what I'm going to do is to show you how to use a document viewer app. Okay, first thing, of course, we need the app. So we'll go over here, we'll drag it over here, and you'll notice that I can arrange it wherever I want. I'm going to put it on the bottom and I'm ready to go. If I want, and if I have several of them in here, like you notice up here I have, I may want to put another document viewer app. I could go in and rename that so that you can see it. Okay, the next thing I would do is probably click here, and just as I would when I'm uploading a file, I would select the file, and once it's in here I would hit save, and that would allow me to have the document viewer app active on my page. I'm done. I can either pause if I need to add more, or once I'm done, I can hit that. Now, once I'm done with that, I'm going to go back to my page that deals with the, let me do this if I may, just cut that one out there, so I only have one page, to my page with the video on it. You'll see down below I do have the video, and it's I don't know, wow, it's about a minute long. But now again, what is the way for me to get it to my web page the best way? Well, I could just kind of click on it and do it one way. I could save it like we did before, but that's kind of, it would be a little bit different. So here's what I'm going to suggest this way, is to click on it. And once you click on it, right click, of course, you're going to get some commands. See where it says save media as? Click on that. Give it a name. I'm just going to call it new video because I don't know what I have on my screen so far. And again, I'm going to save it on my desktop and hit save. Wow, it's saved already. Okay, and I don't know if it's there or not. Yep, there it is right there. See it? New. Hey, I found one. Okay, now I would go to my web page again, and I just have to link it. Okay, I would go in here and type the words. You know, I already have it, so. Okay, I would learn how to spell it right. Then I always do this first and then I highlight it. Makes it a little bit easier. Then I would hit the, as we always do, the insert file. I would go and find that video, hit insert. The only thing that we have to worry about here, okay, it was new or something. Yeah, there it was, new video, open, and I'm going to hit continue. And it's working. It's going to take a few seconds for things to upload because well, it depends on the speed and so forth and so on. And I'm hoping it goes pretty quickly. It's going too slowly, but there it is. It's done. It uploaded. Notice it has document viewer in the text to display. That's because I underlined it and highlighted it before I went into the upload. And then I could hit insert file, and there it is. And when I go to my page, I could do that to view it, and it would open that video. So now, real quickly, as a quick review, what we've gone over real quickly is we want to have kids be able to respond, give them a page, give them a form. Might want to send a greeting. You might want to have a birthday shout out or something along that line. Or you can go to a page, or you can create a page or just have a link, whatever, to embed videos that are made on PowerPoint. Okay, and with that, Raj, I don't know if there are any questions, but we're ready to switch over to your part for right now.
No, I think we're doing pretty well with in the question area. Take a look. We
Okay.
answered one key one, and then there was another one brought up about the two-way communication with our
Yes. Students?
students. And that, I guess, and I don't know MobyMax that well from a subscription standpoint, but there is a back and forth option there, I suppose. But I think, again, you're in the Clever and
yeah, and then you're on somebody else's website too, MobyMax. Yeah, so again,
did you give me the screen, sir?
I will give you the screen. As a matter of fact, I forgot.
Oh.
Why is it not doing my sharing? Oh, there it is. Okay. Things are working a little slower this afternoon. I don't know if it's the computer or what. Here we go.
All right.
And thank
you.
Good
afternoon again, everyone. I'll remind you of our theme for this webinar, Phase 3. We are fine-tuning our web pages, and that takes in a couple of areas. One is some interesting and we think useful ways to use some of those apps for building our Blackboard web pages, and some things to add some actual content to the pages. Gene's pointed out a couple of new features. Not really new features, but new ways to use existing things. If you're well versed in PowerPoint, you may already have known those things about screen recording and audio recording and so on. What's new is, very likely, that additional option. What if I save it as? And you saw the huge list of options when you click on the save as, and then it drops down for all of the ways, different ways you can choose to save a PowerPoint. And that's been growing and growing and growing as they've improved and enhanced with features, lots of things within PowerPoint. But that MP4, I think, can be very useful. Over on, Gene went to my page, and here is the teacher, the embed page samples that I made for today. Okay. This is the birthday shout out. These are both created within PowerPoint. That automatically plays when that page is clicked on. The voice, you'd hear the audio behind it. It's just again, it's just a one-page slide. I did it again in the birthday shout out. And Gene dressed his up with some additional graphics and so on. But this might be something that you do for your students. You probably do it in your classroom. Whose birthday is it this week? Whose birthday is it this month? And so on. That's something nice. They get to hear your voice. They get to hear their name called out. On that one, I shouted out the names to 4 people who had their birthdays this month in April, and you could change that up. You could have a greeting for Monday of every week. You could have a greeting for every day of the week if you wanted to, and create it the same way, and you would certainly get more efficient at it if you're doing it every day, saving as MP4, up, insert, and so on. The other thing we're going to talk about today, so that's a way to add some content. We're going to talk about this. This is an embed option with a video from YouTube. But let's take a look at another feature we're looking at. You probably noticed that when you go to your page, there's lots and lots and lots of white space. That's hard to get rid of. Okay, that requires some unnecessary scrolling and perhaps some unnecessary clicking. To fine-tune your page, one of the goals is, well, the ultimate goal is make it easy for your students. make it easy for their parent to help them. So go to your web page and take a look. Can someone looking at my page figure out simply, and you know your students better than anybody, can someone looking at my page quickly find the information I would like them to find that I'm pushing out to them? And we can have too much on a web page and don't know where to look. Okay, we want to streamline it. Okay, again, we've only been a couple of weeks into this, the vast majority of teachers in the district working with that web page, and there's some fantastic work out there. Now we need to fine tune it. Now we've learned our basic skills. Now we're going to improve on those skills and what we know and understand. And one thing is to streamline your web page, make things easy to find. Okay, so here is this week's journal assignments. Now, you've heard this several times. I'll say it again. These are they call them breadcrumbs. This is where you started out at 79th Street Elementary. Then I went to teacher web pages. I found my page. There's my page. And then on my page, I went over here and went down the navigation. This kind of orients you, kind of like a GPS system. This is where you are, and you can trace your steps, okay? That's just a little bit of information up there. I know that helps me a lot looking at different web pages when I start browsing and diving down into pages and subpages. This will let me figure out just exactly where I am. So we're on this week's journal assignments. Here is a nice new feature, not really a new app, but we're going to feature it to help you clean up your page. Let's make it so it isn't quite filled with so much white space. This whole app takes care of what you're looking at. It's called Accordion, the Accordion app. And it's the very first one on the page when you are behind the scenes working on your web page. You'll see. Very simple, very clean. But look, I expand all of them at once, or I can expand any one of them at once. These are my journal assignments this week. I had one for each day of the week. Students come in, it might be bell work. Students, get your devices, log on, sign up, go to a web page and click on today's journal assignment. And so today is Thursday. For a while this morning, I thought it was Wednesday. Here's today's journal assignment. See how that opened up? Now, within this, and they're called records, we'll take a look at that. Within this record is what to do today. What are your free time activities these days? Write about what you do in today's journal. So this is probably perhaps something that's been ongoing through the course of the year, where your students may have is a free write journal kind of thing, and you provide a little inspiration with a topic and so on. But attached to that topic is a place to put it. Click today's journal entry. Okay, this is a link. Hard to see with such small print. That's why I enhanced it by saying click with the arrow. Click on today's journal entry. Look what happens. It takes me to a Microsoft form for today's specific journal topic. And I'm going to show you how to build that and so on. So as we've been talking right along, this opens up to anybody with the forms link, anybody who goes to the web page, goes here, finds a journal and so on. They click that, they get this form to fill out. And they're all required items. The little red indicator shows that cannot be submitted unless there is something here. So the first line is going to be your name. We want to know who you are. Okay, so the student would write in their first name, last initial. And there's a little example here in the subtitle. Click on today's date. This is a new emphasis for the kind of question you can put on a form. You can have a multiple choice question. You can have a free response, text-based response question or answer, and you can have a calendar. If you didn't have this calendar app and you asked the students to input as text the day's date, you can imagine the variations you're going to get on how to type a date, even though you might say something like this. This is a struggle for a lot of people, okay? But if I just click in here, it drops down to a calendar, and it defaults to today's date. So I would just simply click here and see it brings it back. That's important for later on when you start looking at student responses, because one of the options, if you were here the other day, you see that a form and its responses can be, after you examine it and look it over, you can put it out into an Excel spreadsheet. And if it's formatted data, then you could sort on it. You could, if this was done once a week, you could sort all of the days of the week for responses and so on. But it's a nice little thing. It saves a lot of struggle for students, first of all, and for you as follow-up. And then this is an extended response option for your students. This is where they're going to put in their journal topic for the day, their response to the journal, whatever it happens to be. So they click all of these things in, and then they click submit. Now, if I click submit here, I'm going to get an error, aren't I? Because I haven't responded here, and I haven't responded here. So we're just going to ignore that and bring it back. And again, this is a link. This is a form that I have dressed up in Microsoft Forms with some background images. I've prettied it up, and just for a little more eye appeal on the form itself. Okay, now let's take a look. Let's go back at the page. Okay, I had that open up, that link in a new tab. Or actually, I opened it up and so I could use the back arrow. But here, look, if I expand them all, I could get an overview of my journal writing tasks for the whole week. Look. Monday, Thursday, Friday, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And in here, you build in the details. I'm going to show you what that app looks like. It looks like there's some content in there, doesn't it? Well, that's exactly what it looks like when you build it. You're familiar with the content app. It's going to look very similar with the toolbar and so on. This link is to a website. This website is on history.com or something like that, and then you can search on it, this day in history, 10, 20, 30, 100 years, and so on. What were the key events there? So that was what was the background for that journal assignment. And then click and complete the forms here. A different form for that day of the week. So all of this is easily doable, easily manageable. Okay, let's collapse them all. I'm going to sign in so I can edit my page. And here I am. Let's take a look at what the accordion app looks like. That's what that's called. Here, first in line, top row, first app is the accordion app. You're familiar with some of these, the content app, of course. We've used a couple of other ones. There's a document viewer app, on and on and on. I encourage you to explore them. You might find an app that, hey, this does just what I want to do. It might be a library of reading material. It might be a list of favorite shortcuts and things. There's an assignment app, which is very powerful, and you can build an assignment with all different parts to it and so on. We haven't looked in great detail on that. You might see some examples around the school district of people who have used the assignment app and so on. I used to use the directions app, maps and directions, when I was building helping the athletic department with their schedules, the fall, winter, spring sports schedules. I would go out to all of the away sites in section 6. If you're going to Kenmore East, here is, and I can build that direction, Kenmore East High School. It would actually print a Google map, show a Google map, and how to get there from Niagara Falls High School. Really kind of nice feature, and that goes back better than 10 years. That's been around. Okay, an events list and so on. Okay, but here is our accordion app. Let's take a look at what it looks like behind the scenes. Okay, so I've dragged it over. I've added an item. These items are called records. Each one of these is a record. It looks a little bit like when you build a new web page, doesn't it? You can make them active or inactive, just a wax on, wax off, click it on, click it off. Okay, and then you build it. Let's take a look at today's record, and we'll go into the edit mode of it. That should look familiar to you. The title is today's date because it coincided with today's calendar date and for the journal assignment. So I name it appropriately there. Today's journal topic. Look at all the option buttons here. They are the same ones you work with in the content app, aren't they? Okay, bold, underline. You can change the color if you want of some of the text. You can change the size and so on. You can also insert a link, which I did. This link here, this is a link. This goes to the form I created for today's journal entry. You could, if you want, you could dress it up with an image. Okay, you could even dress it up by inserting a file into it, and then it would all collapse into that single line on your web page. But this could be filled with text. Okay, auto expand this record. You got a couple other things. I mean, you could really dive down into it. You could time it to come and go. I want this particular accordion record to begin on a date and end on a date. Okay, you can put in some tags. We haven't talked about those. That's kind of like what they call metadata, where a whole bunch of apps could be easily found with a search word or a keyword term. We haven't talked about that. I didn't click it to automatically expand. I'm just left everything at the defaults for this. Okay, so I'm going to cancel this and show you. I'm going to say I'm done, but I'm going to go back here and show you what it looks like if you create a new record. Again, these are all records, and this is where if I wanted to go out 2 weeks, okay, I would create a new record. Click the new record. What's the new record? Okay, let's say it's 11, 24, 25, 26, 27. Let's say it's for April 27th, 2020. Okay, I think that's didn't know if that was a comma or not. Let's see. Okay, so that's my new record. That's got a title. Okay, so I say today's journal. And then yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I save that, but watch what happens. It goes right to the top of the list. Unlike when you create a new page, it appears at the bottom of your page listings for navigation. Then you have to, if it's a home page, you want to first you got to drag it and position it. The same option exists here. Okay, if I want to sort the records, then I grab this. See, I want this now. I want this at the bottom because I want it in order. Okay, so that'll be Monday. So I'll save it. And it appears down here. So it's easy to sort. All right, I'm going to delete that because we don't always need it, but that would appear. And when you change the records here, it automatically changes on your web page. Okay, now let's take a look at the Forms app. I've got to go into Microsoft Office. I was already signed in, familiar with all of the different tools here. And there are some, as a little promotional thing, there are some Office 365 workshops, online workshops just like this. I think there's one going on right now, and there are some more tomorrow as well. And really, all of the questions we've been getting about back and forth with students and so on, all within Office 365 and Teams can occur. But you can give immediate feedback to assignments and things, and it's very powerful. And that's where I believe most of this is headed. We've got the front door taken care of with your web pages. Okay, parents aren't going to get into Office 365, et cetera, but they can come to your web page, get some information about it, and you can share things out of 365 onto your web page. But for the students, for your daily work, you're going to find so many features in Office 365. I think you're going to find it hard to live without once you learn it, and you're going to say, why didn't I do this before? Because it does make a whole lot of things much more efficient. You can put forms in 365. You can put Sway. We're going to touch on that probably next week in some other workshops. But let's look at our forms. We've been working on these for a couple of weeks now. Okay, these are all of my forms. First option you see is to either create a new form or a new quiz here. And then all of the forms that you create automatically are saved here. By whatever title you give it, that's the title here. The only order is the order in which they have been created or edited. If I, and I'll do this in a moment, if I edit this one, it will then appear over here. It kind of assumes you want to work on the most recent one. And they all, they just keep, I don't know if there's a limit. Look at this. I'm probably going to find it if there is. But here are the ones that I'm working with. And then here are the forms that I worked with for the journal entries. Okay. Here was Monday. Then we had Tuesday, etc. Okay. Friday, Thursday, Wednesday. And they don't have to be in order for you to insert them or anything. They just are pretty much in order in that you work on them. By giving them titles like this, like I did with dates and things, that may help you sort them out. If you really embrace using forms, there's plenty of options and reasons why you might do that. Okay, so let's take another look at what forms is behind the scenes. So we had, let's take a look at today, okay? Extended response journal for Thursday. This is that form that you got to on my web page if you were there, okay? I dressed it up. I dressed up each day of the week's form with a little window dressing, okay? And that's what happens when you are building your form. You can go to what's called the theme, and you can pick a background image, okay? They give you some here to work with. You can pick a color scheme. Okay, it's better than what you start off with anyway, the default. Or you can, if you want, let's go down here a little bit more, all the way down. You can add one of your own. Here's a few more down here. You can add your own as a background. I did this playing around. I took a background image using that snippet tool and stuff, and I brought it up and used it as a whole background image around the form, just to, you know, kind of strengthen the idea and the theme of what I was working on. So you can pick any of those. That helps. Okay, dress it up a little bit. It's just window dressing has got no bearing on importance, but we want it to look nice, so we have that option. Okay, so I build my form. Let's go back here. I only did one form to start with. All right, Q&A. Let's notice when you work in forms. So I did a brand new one. Okay, but I created one, and I wanted to use that as sort of a template for all my other journal assignments. Okay, so let's pick. Well, let's go back to Thursdays. All right, I started off logically with Monday. And then what I did was, let me take you back one step, I'm sorry. Let's go back to each form tile here. If you can see it, some of the graphics don't allow that. There are three little dots, okay? More form actions, some more settings, some more things you can do before you even open it up. You can make a copy of it. You can delete it. And then you can move it down into a background area where it can be restored. I'm going to have to do that with some of these, but let's say I want to make a copy of it. Let me click off here. This is where I started. So that's a good place to illustrate this. I started on Monday, so I made this day in history, yada, yada, yada. I said, copy that. I copied it, and look what happens. Now, I have a duplicate. I have a clone almost. All right. Here's the one I created. Here is the copy over here. I know it's a copy because of this. It automatically reminds me that this is not the original. Okay. This is the second copy of this. So I can go in now and edit it, change the background and so on. That's what I did, and I came up with Tuesday. And then I could do it again for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and so on. Just change the content of the form a little bit so that it addresses that journal topic, okay? Another option is more form actions. I can delete this, and I'm going to. But you're going to get the nice confirmation. Are you sure? Yeah, I'm sure. Or oops, I'll cancel it. Notice it's gone, and here's what I started with. Okay, so let's click on the form again. Now we have some of those other options that we went over last time we talked about forms in this kind of detail. The share option. This all applies to this form. How do I want to share it? How do I want to put it on my web page? Do I want to do it with a link, which I did in the record for the journal entries? I just inserted a link there, and then it opened up when it went live and you clicked it on my web page. Or I could, if I want, I could embed it. Here's a QR code. There are options for that. We could, down the line, we'll talk about some of those that are creative and fun. But if I want to embed this form, that means it's going to be open and sitting there on my page for students to put in their responses and address the information on the form. Okay, that's if I embed it. It's going to sit there. And lots of people are doing that. Students don't have to go searching for it. You can put a little bit of direction in the content app above it and say, below is the form, fill it in and click submit when you're done, and so on. But let's say I do want to embed this. I get a different code up here. This is the embed code. This is all the language behind the form. So if I want to embed it, I would copy that. And now it's on my clipboard, and I could go and put that on my page or with the embed code. But we use the link here. Another nice option is you can share this. If you're working collaboratively with some other teachers, same grade level, same subject area, and you all want to do maybe a kind of a common assessment, a check for progress on the kids, you could collaborate on one and share it. You can also just simply share this as a template. You like this, somebody else sees it on your web page, they email you and say, Roger, I like that form. Could you share it with me? So I would get a duplicate, a link, and then they could go, they would receive it, make a copy of it, and change it for whatever they want. If they like some of the things on it, they'd keep, change some of the things to suit their purpose as well. Okay? So that's copy the link, and it works the same way as you are in the content app. Just a reminder though, over here in the settings, next to share is an ellipse, settings, who can fill out the form. This is where a couple of teachers have stubbed their toes. They found that the wrong thing was checked in here. It looked like the student was going to have to sign in, use a password to take the form. That's because that was checked and not anyone with the link can respond. You want to make sure that is the option you take. And of course, you're going to accept responses. You may, if you want, depending on the uniqueness of that form and the activity, you could have a start and an end date. This form could start with Monday, April 20th. And after, on the 21st, I won't accept any dates. I won't accept an entry. I could be that tough on this. Depending on what it was, that may work for you. Do you want to shuffle the questions? Not here, not now, because I ask name, I ask for other specific information that I do not want shuffled on the form. So we leave that open. And the last big notification, this is kind of a rehash of what we talked about when we initially looked at forms, do you want to send a receipt, an email receipt to whoever submitted this? Well, unless your students have email addresses and have a way to contact them, which they would in Office 365, then you have to leave this unchecked. Do you want to get a notice when someone has submitted a form? You, the teacher. If you check that, then you will get an email in your Lotus Notes, your school address mail handler in Lotus, every time a student submitted the form. It's going to blow up your mailbox. If you're a
Yeah.
secondary teacher, if you're a phys ed teacher and you have 170 students or more, it's not going to take long to blow up your mailbox. Okay, so leave those blank, because you can, when it's all said and done, after forms are submitted, this feature within forms, and we've talked about it, this keeps track of the number of responses that have been submitted, and that's where you manage that. Okay, so
Raj,
that covers
one
what I was
thing.
going to do. We're going to talk about embedding and stuff.
Yeah, in a few minutes. You covered most
in a
of it.
couple of minutes.
You covered most of it very nicely. Hey, one quick thing. Could you go back to your forms, all of your forms?
All of my forms.
All of your forms. First of all, one quick way to see if you've had responses. Look down at the bottom of each form, and it'll tell you.
Down in here,
Yeah.
it will tell you, here's one here. I think that was a playground. There are still some that I created in the past. I have lots of them I want to use for examples.
Yeah.
And you can clear them out, but you can tally them here, or if you open up the form, they will show up here too. There will also be a number here.
But that's a quick way. And also, while you're at forms, you're showing all of your forms. Unfortunately, there's not really any way to organize those guys.
Just
to put them in
the order
folders.
that they're edited.
As it comes. So we've been asked about that. So no, there's no way to really go in and organize them as yet. We might want to send in a little thing to Microsoft saying, hey, let's have folders for there.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a time saver.
Yeah, it really would.
How would they be organized? Alphabetically by title? Then you got but I think there's lots of it would be nice, but you're not going to lose them because they're going to be saved.
They're going to be saved. They're great. Yeah.
And
okay.
That other option we mentioned it this morning. If I do share a form, or somebody shares a form with me in a collection here, forms shared with me. These two people have shared forms with me that I can then copy, duplicate, and enhance. And then this would be in the collaborative aspect. I'm working on these forms with some other people. Okay, but this is a powerful tool, very useful. I think people are getting. I see a lot of websites where people are gathering information, and Gene was pointing out it's a nice give and take forum for parents and students and so on.
Yeah, it's a very easy one. An easy one. Sure, there are some other ones that are useful and perhaps maybe more useful, but they may be a little bit more complicated. So this is an easy way for both
like you. Survey mode.
Yeah, and you and the parents.
This is built in.
Yeah,
right.
This is the parents don't have to have any learning to do it. Hey, I'm going to switch back over. We're running a little low, but we got some good.
We got two more things to do.
A couple more good stuffs.
How about that? Let me give you the screen. And you should have it back.
Okay, right? And you should be looking at the district webpage just right now. Hey, we've been talking, and I'll go quickly through this because you know a lot of it, but a good review and some good hints. We've been talking that, first of all, when you do your web pages, it's nice to have a little color on there, a few images here and there. Don't overdo it, but yes, we do need to have some images that might make our web pages look a little bit better. And we want to make sure that they are all proper, copyright free, and that we are not going to run into any issues with that. So we'd just like to show you really quickly 2 sites that you might want to use and one other place that you can get some really good images from. Clip art and other images, okay? Here is one called Public Domain Clip Art. And I kind of like this. It has a lot of stuff in it. I think it says 25,000 or more, and there's some good ones in here. And right now I'm at the education. If I just want to go back, let's see, just to show you very quickly, look at all the different topics and things. Okay, so I just went back. I just clicked on education for right now, and I guess I didn't click on education. I clicked on oh boy, which shows you that I'm trying to go too quickly. Education, and here is the I guess the warning about this page. Just be careful of the ads. They put what's supporting this page are the ads, and they have a company that they allow to go in and put ads on there, and it's this one that has that little gadget right there. See it? And it puts ads on the page. So be careful when you see these. You're going from this page to another. And some of them are offering free downloads. So you'll see a download now, and you'll think, oh boy, I'm going to download the clip art. And what you're downloading is a program. Okay. So how do you get a clip art from this page? Very simply. Click on one. There's one. It's a nice clip art. All right. And all you have to do is say this is a clip art. It says click image for full size. Okay, you'll see it kind of doesn't show it. So notice here now, here we go. Notice this download here. Because if you move this, I don't know if I can even move it out of the way. Download later, that's an ad. So the best way, whenever you want one of these pictures, is to just try to click on it, save image as, okay? And give it a proper title and save it wherever you want to save it, okay? So again, very simply, that's the best way. Take a look at this site. Again, public domain clip art. It's pdclipart.org. That's a little different, org. Hey, another one we like very much, Pixabay. Pixabay is really cool, but you do have to be a little bit careful because when you go there, you're going to say stunning free images and royalty-free stock. What does that mean? Royalty-free doesn't mean that the picture is free. It means that there are some pictures on here that are pictures that you must buy. But once you buy them, you can use them as much as you want. It's like the old-time television shows, you know, when they bring them back. Each time they show them, they have to pay a royalty fee to the company that produced that show. But this means buy it once, use it forever. But we don't want to buy it. We want free. So what I'm going to do is just real quickly go to illustrations. I'm going to go here. Let's type, oh no, I was going to do that. Let's do this. Because I promised to show you what I did. Okay, now, again, here is a warning, I guess, or whatever. Notice the top line. It says Sponsored Images Shutterstock. Shutterstock is a company that sells pictures, so we don't want that top line. And if you click on it, it will warn you and so forth and so on, ask you to create something and then pay for it. We don't want that. How do you know if it's free? Very simply. Here's the one I use. Let me just show you that as an example. If I click on it, what I do is I go over and check on the right. Notice it says free download, Pixabay license, free for commercial use, which means anybody can use it without having to pay for it, and no attribution. That means that you don't have to tell where you got it from. They do say if you download it, they say it would be nice if you said, hey, I got it from, but you don't have to. See? And then again, underneath you go, oh, I like that one. Notice again, sponsored images. And if you go there, you will be asked to create an account and pay for it. So you don't want to do that because there are so many free images here. Again, most of these are free, okay? Good site to look through. Now, what if you happen to be at a site and you only wanted a little bit of a picture? see this picture, you wanted to download it, but you only wanted the happy birthday. You didn't want all these little hearts over here. Okay, I think those are, maybe are two different pictures, but we're going to say that it's one for right now. There is another little tool on your computer that you can use very easily to copy part of a screen, a monitor screen. And again, over here, I'm going to click on the A so I can get all of these. And I'm going to go to S, because in the S's there is a tool called Snip and Sketch. Snip and Sketch in the S's. Okay, what I've done to make it a little bit easier is I've put it here because I like it very much. What did I do? Okay, I wanted to go back there. Okay, Snip and Sketch is very easy to use. Click on the Snip and Sketch, or bring it, click on it in your tools, and this is what you get. I don't mess with this command too much. I just go to New. Now, when it goes to New, I can select different kinds of image snips. I want a regular snip, or I want a freeform snip, or you can work. I'm just going to do a regular snip right now, and notice everything's kind of dark. So I'm just going to snip the part of the page that I want. I just want that. And I've got it. And then I can go over here. I can zoom in to work on it. I can save it. I can copy it. You probably want to save it, copy it, share it with somebody. I don't know. But there's also, if you need to do things, you can go in here. You can write on different things. Touch writing, if you have your school computers, laptops, and you have the touch. You can do that. And you have the pens, you have an eraser, you have a ruler, you have a little crop if you want to crop something out of it, make it a little bit smaller. Okay? And then when you're done, you can save it again. And that's how that works. I'm going to continue and lose that. I don't care. And with that, we have one other little place that you can go real quickly. Where am I? I think I want to be here. If we're on one of our pages, if I'm working on one of your pages, you're editing, and you want to insert a video, you might even want to try here first because it's a good place and it has a lot of good clip art. You want to put a clip art in. Again, insert an image. Well, we don't want to upload it. We already know how to do that from our computers. Cloud image means that it's just saved in your OneDrive. An existing image. If you upload an image once, you don't have to upload it again. It's usually saved. These are the ones that I just put up the other day for use today. So I'm going to cancel that. Oops, well, I didn't mean to cancel the whole thing. Okay, I can go to, I said existing file, shared file. Okay. Oh, why am I going to link? I apologize. Going too quickly. Shared image shows the photos of the school that we worked with before. And down below is one we haven't talked about. It says clip art. There's an awful lot here. The first thing you're going to do is see Apple for some reason, and it just shows you Apple, so I recommend you get rid of that. Now, under the clip art search, it says all images. Okay, you can go down here and select various topics. Let's just select animals and wildlife, and then we would click on search, and we would be given a lot of them. If you want to see them larger, you can use the little scroll thing here, and you can pick out. There's some pretty good things here. Notice that they're not, it says clip art, but they're not all clip art, and I think somebody's used one of those, but they have some of these good, pretty decent clip arts in here that you might want to use. I'm going to cancel that. So that's another source of good clip art. So images, put some images in, don't overdo it, but it does make your pages have a little more interest and nicer to look at. So don't forget to do those. And with that, we have one more thing to show you real quickly. I think, Raj, I believe, are you ready?
I am ready. My finger is poised over the click button. We're ready to go.
And go.
Give me the screen and I'm going.
Okay.
We're going to talk about embedding options on your web page. Our theme again is to use our space efficiently, not have to click too often, not have to scroll very much. All right. This is a video that I embedded on my sample page, and you're welcome to go to my page, 79th Street School, and take a look at these up close and personal if you like, and you can hear the video that you can't hear when we're showing them to you during the webinar, but you'll get a couple of ideas. We've already shown how to put in the PowerPoint with the MP4 thing, but here is a YouTube video. Look, it's just sitting on my page, ready for the play button. The caution is, again, from the superintendent on down, be very careful in your selection of YouTube videos. He didn't say not to do it, but he's asking you to use your professional judgment on what is appropriate. It's not that this video itself wouldn't be appropriate. It's extremely appropriate, all right? But what follows at the end of a YouTube video, often by way of a suggestion of what to play next, may not be for the eyes of our students and so on. They should be doing this under the guidance of a parent, but we also know that that sometimes isn't practical. So here is a YouTube video. I'm going to click on the play, and it's playing right within the frame, and I can enlarge it. Okay, make it full screen. Okay, how did it get there? Okay, I'm going to go now. I'll show you. See, here's the playlist. We don't really necessarily want those, our students to go to those. Okay, so let's go to YouTube, where I originally got that video. Now I'm out on the whole YouTube site. Okay, and I'm going to skip the ads and pause this because it's blaring away in my ears. But this again is, we don't want students looking at all of this. Okay, and there are some things that just aren't age appropriate, grade appropriate, and so on. That's the caution. Okay, but on every YouTube video that's out there, this is pretty good. It's from the History Channel. It's been vetted. It's good authoritative information, and we want to share that unit of study. A couple of weeks we'll be talking about Cinco de Mayo. So how do we put that on our page? Here is, underneath each YouTube video is a little option called share. Well, you're familiar with that because of the share option in Microsoft Forms. All right, so if I click on share, it's going to ask me, how do I want to share this? The option we're talking about is the embed option. Those two little brackets, sometimes there's a little backslash between them, but that is the recognizable symbol for where we're going to embed that. So if I click on embed, this is the embed code. A little pop out happen. This is all the language that goes behind this video to get it on my page. Down here, nice little box is start at 0.11. That means start at the 11-second mark. That's after the initial ads appear. And that's a good thing to remember if you're going to do it. So if you click this, now it's going to start at the start of the video. Okay, sometimes where you paused it, but generally it's at the beginning. All right, embed options, show player controls. Okay, I'm not sure what this means. I got to explore that. Privacy enhancement, I'm not really sure. But okay, now down here it says this is where I copy it. Boom, it highlighted and copied on my clipboard now all of the embed code options. I'm going to copy it again. Okay, now I bring that back with me to my web page. Let's go into behind the scenes, and I'm going to go down to I got to go down to the next page, I think, my embed page samples. And here is the embed code. All right, I'll get off so you can see it.
Hey, one good thing right there, Raj, is you need an embed code for each video. Some people are asking that, and that's very good.
Yeah, it's a good question.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it was so good. Yeah.
You need an embed code for each single video you want to put in. You're not going to put it.
Yeah, and I'm sorry to interrupt, but that was just a good video, a good shot there to show you that.
Here's the embed code. I drag it over from here. All right, here's our store of apps. There's our accordion app. Our content app is here. Here's the embed code app. I'm going to pull this over and put it in a new spot. And I'm going to show you what happens next. Here is the blank canvas. There is no toolbar. There isn't anything here for me to do except paste the embed code. That's what is behind the scenes of that YouTube video coming to my web page. Okay, talks about how big that frame is going to be. Here is the actual address of the video on YouTube and so on, and some of the other things that said allow full screen, those kinds of things. So if I save that now, it's going to be on my web page. Okay, activate on my page. That should always be checked by default. Okay, I'm going to cancel that because I don't want to repeat it. All right. I used another embed code. I'll go back to my page. Let's go down the screen a little bit. I used the embed code to put this form on my page. Previously, where I was showing you in the accordion app, I linked the form in. This time I embedded it. Notice it is a live form on my page. There's a couple other little things going on there with the immersive reader and stuff, which we have talked about. We've touched on it at some point. We're going to have to talk about in detail. That just allows the student to have read to the student this text here, and it's a really it's a game breaker for a lot of students. Okay, but this is what happens when I embed the form. Well, let's go back to Microsoft Forms. Here is Today in History. Let's go to Friday. And I go to the share option. One of my options, as I've pointed out and we point out often, is to embed that. So if I click on the embed code now, and then I copy it, it's now on my clipboard to go back into my page editor. And here is the forms. So this was blank, and I right-clicked and pasted the code from my Microsoft Forms in here. Click Save. I'm going to cancel. I think I got to get rid of this. I hope I'm getting rid of the right thing. Oh, fingers crossed. But the nice thing is when you go back to your page, you refresh it. Okay. Now this is a live form. Okay. This is a live video. Some of the other apps let you go, here is the assignment app, and I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but in the assignment app, I can click on the assignment app. Notice there's an embedded link to the video, a different Cinco de Mayo video, this one made for kids. Okay, that's a phase 4 kind of thing, or a little more digging down into some of the options on your web page. But it really is, the embed tool is slick. It looks nice on your page. Okay. Here the embed, not the embed, but this is a link to that PowerPoint. You can't embed a PowerPoint, as Gene's mentioned, but you can link to it, and this opens it up as well. And Gene, I don't think there's much more to say about that. There are some other options, but I think you can really get your pages to another level by using the accordion app for sure, the embed code for forms, which I think takes one click away for students getting to what form work, click where. That works. And then again, with some caution, the embed code for your YouTube video or some of the sites. I'm going to go back and look at some of those other clicks or check marks I can put in there. But that works very well.
Sure does.
For what we want to do. So we fine-tuned our web pages today.
Yeah, and don't forget that one that we really recommend is giving the students a voice too by putting a form in there that allows them to get in touch with you. we like, that might be a good way to.
And I think we're going to be talking about that maybe next week with some things that are in the planning stages now to get that two-way going. There's some apps
Mhm.
in the web page tool to allow that to happen,
Sure.
something called a blog and those kinds
Yeah.
of things. But
Sure.
we're getting there. We are so far down the road with this from where
Yeah.
we were 3 or 4 weeks ago with teacher web pages and so on.
Mhm.
That I'm impressed. Everybody's impressed with.
Yeah, and I just got
things
an
we're seeing.
email. I sent some information to Mr. Laurie, and he said that he was very impressed with the teacher web pages, thought they were outstanding, and that
Yes, he used one word response. Outstanding.
yeah, the work that's been coming in the
Yeah,
last
and it
couple of
is.
weeks that you've done is really great. So thank you for doing that. And if you want to do more, keep asking us questions. It makes us learn as well because we have to go before we can answer them and figure them out sometimes.
Yeah. Shorten your learning curve. Try it.
Yeah.
Get back to us.
We want to learn
check the
too.
email
Yeah.
throughout the day, and
Yeah.
at some point, you send both of us an email. One of us, or probably
Yeah.
both of us, will respond to it.
Yeah. And
Hopefully
also,
with
if
the
you
right
want to look
information.
over your website, let us know. We will look them over, make a suggestion or two, friendly suggestions, and you can either say, "Oh, that's good," or "Yeah, I don't like that."
We'll always say something
it's your
positive.
website. It's your website. So, hey, with that, thank you for attending, and thank you for sticking with us. If you need, we will have this. I think this might be the one or the one this morning. We'll talk about that. There will be a video up on the Teacher Resource Center. That was still doing that other way to get there, but you can click on staff and then there's a box down there that says Teacher Resource Center to get to. So anyhow, thank you. Have the best weekend you can. We hope to see you soon. We hope to hear from you soon. So take care.
Yeah, think in about an hour you're going to get the follow-up survey thanking you for being here and another place to ask a question. Okay, we will go through those. Maybe sometime tomorrow or later tonight to see if you have any specific questions, and we'll get back to you through them as well. Okay.
And thank you. Don't forget Mr. Laurie on Sunday.
Afternoon, everybody. Stay safe. Wash those hands.